All right, so we got the 49ers against the Detroit Lions, a brand new Lions with Jared Goff. This one's gonna be it's gonna be awesome game. I think basically we've got two teams that are really similar in a lot of ways, right? I mean, you look at, you know, Lions, they're a tough, gritty team. Really good, pretty good run game. Quarterback, a lot of doubters. Has to kind of prove himself there. Same thing with the Niners. You got a really good run game with CMC. Brock Purdy, a lot of doubters. He's gonna have to prove himself. It's a really interesting matchup. I've heard people say it's almost like they're gonna play themselves. In a way, I think that's true, but in other ways, I don't think that that's as true there. I think the Lions defense. It's just not taking anything away from the Niners defense and how tough they are, but I think the Lions defense and just the Lions in general, they're gonna play. They play you really tough. They play you like really hard. Like it's a very, as Dan Campbell would say, right? Like it's a very tough team to play against. And, I'd expect the line to come out that way. But I'll start off with the 49ers just in terms of, what I think I'd expect from them. First of all, I think what's going to have to happen here is, Brock Purdy admittedly didn't have his best game last week, but I think, this Brock Purdy hate is just, I don't get it. I'm not a I'm a fan of Brock Purdy. I don't know if I'm a big fan, but I'm a fan of him, and I do think that he's deserved just to be called a really really incredible QB, right? I think he is elite, and I mean, you look at his stats and everything, and I could go down the line, but that's not what this video is about. I just think that he deserves a lot more credit than he's been getting, and definitely doesn't deserve a lot of the hate he's been getting. But I think that he's made really good plays. That final drive to kind of win the game for them, really, in my opinion, showed that he has the ability to come back, win games, and that dart to Ayuk there was incredible. Yes, he has CMC. Yes, he's gonna have Debo this game. He has Kittle, but I just think like what good team that has won the Super Bowl doesn't have good players. And so it's going to be a interesting game to see like how he bounces back. And he's a very very accurate, in my opinion, very accurate QB. I think that against this Lions secondary, that can be sometimes they can be susceptible to these threats, especially the vertical threats there. I think if Purdy has enough time in the pocket, he could do some damage against the secondary. So that's something to look out for. I think on the side of the Lions, you have Jared Goff, who guys like let's not forget, like this guy made it to the Super Bowl, and I think a lot of people forget that he has played in a Super Bowl before. And I think right now he's just playing at a level where he's so calm, and I think just you can see it in his interviews and his pressers, like he's such a calm QB right now, the way he plays and the way he's carrying himself, and also I think like just with this game and against the Niners specifically, like I think Goff under pressure is very different than Goff with a clean pocket, right? And I think that's where the Lions O line this game is gonna have to come up huge, where they're gonna have to really be good pass blockers and be efficient in that way to give Goff enough time for a lot of these just like deep throws, intermediate throws, but that's where he could really do some damage is if he's given enough time in that pocket, right? I don't think he's as much of a scrambling QB, and I don't think Brock Purdy is either. So I think that's going to be interesting to see which team's going to be able to protect their quarterback a little bit more. And he uses the use of play action setups will be key here. I think you can draw the linebackers into the Niners and then open up these middle of the field throws. So you have that little bit of a weapon there for him, and we'll see how the Lions are able to do that and scheme against the Niners defense. That Niners defense, that the defensive front, man, I mean, they got Chase Young, to really add to how strong they are. They just have really awesome pressure with a four-man rush. Without needing to blitz, it just gives them an advantage in coverage there. I think Nick Bosa, he's got such a great presence on that edge there. He's such a good edge rusher, and like this matchup against the Lions tackles, right? Specifically in these passing situations, this could be a big game changer. and he's got that speed and technique off that edge that they're going to challenge the Lions, pass protection schemes, and it's going to be, he's going to have a big game. I'm not sure, like how you kind of like prepare for a defensive front that the Niners have, but I think that's going to be a challenge for the Lions to really protect their QB, protect Goff there. And I think like they have a really good, they have a strong ability to push that pocket, right, to really give inside pressure and prevent Goff from stepping up. And once you hit Goff enough times and you really pressure him, it kind of stops that rhythm, right? Because a lot of times in that last game, when you give Goff that rhythm and he can just sling it, and they can have that good tempo, that's where lines kind of become dangerous sometimes. But if you could stop that, you're able to get that and really make a stop for against the Lions there and stop that momentum. But I think you can't also forget about Fred Warner, right? I mean, he great, incredible against the run defense and in coverage, right? I mean, they're disciplined against the play action, and their coverage skills here are going to be tested, right? Because I think Goff has that really good, like that intermediate pass game. He's really good there. But overall, I this is going to be an exciting matchup. I'm personally rooting for the Lions, and I know it's tough because like I feel so bad for all the hate Purdy gets. I feel bad last year how much they basically just lost the game after the first drive. It's so tough to come that far and for it to happen the way it did last year. But I don't know. I feel like this is the year that if the Lions are going to win it, if they're going to make a run for it, this really could be it. It's going to be a tough road to win that Super Bowl, but they are one game away from making the Super Bowl after all the stuff over the years, and even like things this year coming out with the Barry Sanders documentary. I mean, Dan Campbell is starting to get like he's starting to get a little bit more respect, I feel like, for just how he coaches and he creates that culture. It's not just all talk and biting kneecaps and shit like that, but it's he's starting to really develop a culture that people believe in him, and he believes in his players, which is huge. And I do think that, Lions fans, like, they deserve this. I just feel like they deserve it. I mean, so many years they've been kind of the butt end of the joke. They've lost to the Packers. They lose. They don't gain success. And like this time around, I feel like last year when they beat the Packers was basically a flip of the switch of like, hey, this is different now, right? And then this year they went out and proved how different it was. And I don't know. I feel like the Lions and their fans really deserve this, and we'll see though. That's why you play it again. That's why you play this game. We'll see. It's going to be a difficult game for the Lions to pull off, and I do think that Purdy's going to have a really good bounce back game, and Debo's going to be really big factor. I think even if he doesn't get the ball right, I think just the fact that Debo's out there, you got to account for him, and if he can, you can't just leave him wide open. And from what I saw in the videos, he didn't look like his shoulder was bothering him like as much as you would think. So we'll see. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be an interesting one. And let me know what you guys in the comments think it's going to happen. Who do you guys want to win? And how do you think the best way for them to pull it off will be? So that's it for this video. Thanks again for watching. This is NFL Talk. I'm your host, Enrique Aledius. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you want more videos, hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for listening. If you've watched up to this point, catch you guys later.